That's okay. That's all right. Why don't you hang out and talk to me after this is over, okay? Well, thank you. Look. Thank you. That's right. This is not a Trump rally. That's all right. Let him go. Let him go. That's okay. That's all right. Why don't you hang out and talk to me after this is over, okay? Well, thank you. Look. Thank you. That's right. This is not a Trump rally.
That refers to Scott Smith, whose 15-year-old daughter was raped. She was raped in a bathroom by a boy wearing girls' clothes, and the Loudoun County School Board covered it up because it would have interfered with their transgendered policy during Pride Month. And that man, Scott Smith, because he went to a school board and tried to defend his daughter's rights, was condemned internationally. Do you apologize to Scott Smith and his 15-year-old daughter, Judge?
Senator, anyone whose child was raped is the most horrific crime I can imagine, and is certainly entitled and protected by the First Amendment to protest to their school board about this.
But he was cited by the School Board Association
as a
domestic terrorist, which we now know that letter and those reports were the basis for your
No,
Senator, this is
that's wrong.
Shameful. Judge, this is shameful. This testimony, your directive, your performance is shameful.
Okay. That's not.
Thank God you are not on the Supreme Court.
They've lost the economy. They've lost the border. They've lost the foreign policy argument with China. They figure it's now pretty much over. So Biden wants to go out like FDR. He's probably not going to run for re-election. So I think at this point, again, the rule works both ways. He has nothing to lose, so he is going for it. This is the craziest story I have read in eons. Wall Street Journal. United States is in talks to pay hundreds of millions of dollars to families separated at the border. The government is considering payments of $450,000 per person affected by the Trump administration's zero tolerance policy in 2018. Oh, this gets better. The Biden administration is in talks to offer immigrant families that were separated during the Trump administration around $450,000 a person, $450,000 a person in compensation. According to people familiar with the matter, as several agencies work to resolve lawsuits filed on behalf of parents and children who say the government subjected them to lasting psychological trauma. I will be covering this on my Fox show, right? I just rewrote the whole opening monologue on Unfiltered tomorrow night because I'm beyond pissed off about this. And you know how I just I interrupt my own show and then we go back to regularly scheduled programming? That's going to happen tomorrow night, too. I just rewrote the whole thing because they're not getting away with this. So you bust your ass. You work, you get dirt under your fingernails. You're in our military. You're an engineer. You're a pilot, cop, fireman, EMT, paramedic, corrections officer, patrol officer, electrician, carpenter, plumber, HVAC, landscaper. You're busting your ass every day. You have to give the government 20, 30, 40% of your money in many cases. They do nothing for you. Nothing. The government does not a damn thing for you. If you're lucky, they pick up your garbage twice a week. They do nothing. And you have to give them money to pay off people who came here illegally in plain-faced, in straightforward violation of our rules. You now have to pay them off and give them $450,000 a person while your bank account's going to get spied on. They left our people behind in Afghanistan. You're subjected to a vaccine mandate. Your Social Security's been spent away. Medicare's broke. And we are paying off people who entered the country illegally with $450,000. If this story doesn't slice you wide open, you've lost all. You've lost it. You're gone. I'm sorry, you're gone. If this doesn't bother you, there's no saving you. There's no saving you. This is how far gone we are now in this country. Here's Tucker Carlson last night highlighting this massive middle finger to America by the Biden administration. Take a look at this.
No matter what happens going forward, and God knows what that'll be, this story will live forever as the high watermark of political lunacy. Mark your calendars. It's October 28th, 2021. This is the day that things couldn't possibly get nuttier. And here it is. According to a piece in this afternoon's Wall Street Journal, the Biden administration has decided to pay reparations to illegal aliens. In other words, foreigners who came here without invitation, who came in willful violation of legal statutes passed by our Congress per our Constitution, those people are about to get a groveling apology and huge amounts of cash. Why? Because our government dared to enforce its own laws, which now apparently is immoral.
You know, my wife, other people around me, some people here today, they did it the right way. They wanted to come here. They love this place. My wife came here. She went through hell to get here. Her mother worked her ass off to get here. Never took a dime of government benefits. My wife sat there for years, went through interrogations at the Baltimore ICE office. My wife is a successful web developer, has added nothing but value to this country. She's never taken anything. And she raised her right hand in that citizenship ceremony, and I got a tear in my eye. Watching all those people who did it the right way. Can you imagine what a slap in the face to them and every single legal immigrant in this country that they went about it the right way, costing them a fortune, costing them time, costing them money, blood, sweat, and tears. And yet people who flipped this country off, walked across the border and said, take your rules and shove them up your caboose, are now going to get payouts from those same people's tax dollars who raised their right hand and did it the right way. This country